Well, good morning, our beloveds. After our short hiatus, refusing to come through because our another needed some time to reflect and be present in her grief and to see things through painful eyes, and we interfere with that with our higher vibration, but sometimes a low vibration is required in order to honor the grief and the pain and the suffering of past times rather than gaslighting yourselves, doing the spiritual bypassing, recalling that it was not as bad as it really was, things like that in order to cope, to deal with hurtful, painful memories that no longer serve you, to stuff, to seek, to hide, to remember with rose-colored glasses. You all are being brought into a new vibration where what served you once no longer serves you. It was your coping mechanism, your creation of inner constructs in order to manage your worldview, because if you had seen the world through real glasses versus rose-colored glasses, you all would have annihilated one another, because that certain percentage of the populace who is willing to love in spite of what has been done to you were needed to keep the vibration wholesome, holy, and connected. But now it is your time to feel abandoned, neglected, submerged, rejected, left alone, subsumed. Google it, and you will soon understand why this is so important to no longer gaslight yourselves. Gaslight. Google it. Narcissism. Google it. It was the energy of your times. Much of the language that is used to describe it is not helpful because the terminology is so crafty and negative. We do not like shoebox terms. We prefer a fluid flowing of terminology that helps people to heal by finding terms that align better with their vibration. But nonetheless, gaslighting and spiritual bypassing are the terms of the year, to be honest. You have gaslit yourself by telling yourselves it wasn't as bad as it was because it was your coping mechanism. And the spiritual bypassing is just simply forgiving others without holding them accountable. But the problem is that those who harmed you without recourse, without consequences, learned that it is okay to harm and hurt people because there are no consequences. But that was the patriarchy. It was the two-sided coin, the haves and the have-nots, the wants and the want-nots, the believe and the believe-nots, and the create and the create-nots. And you will understand as you are moving into this new energetic vibration of patriarchy less living, matriarchy more living, and balance, how it looks, how it feels, how it expresses itself when balance arrives. Neither is greater nor lesser. You all are just simply a piece of the puzzle, and each are required. Each are equally important to fill out the energetic imprint of the Google database. But you need to first recognize and honor your painful pasts, to recognize how you were not treated well, how you were not honored, how you were not seen as you are, but instead projected onto a screen as to how you were to present and how it was to feel, for you to feel, when it wasn't what you wanted to feel. You were told you were not good enough, not big enough, not grand enough, not superstar enough, because everything is about winning. But what about being kind enough, generous enough, loving enough? Were those ever financially rewarded by the universe, by the imprint of this universe up to now? Not really, because it was a dog-eat-dog world where you had to kill or be killed, literally and figuratively. But that energy is now shifting. And in order for you to set aside those coping mechanisms that no longer serve you, well, it is time. It is time for you all to learn about narcissism, not because you believe everybody is bad, but because narcissism is the patriarchy. It is where you shut down the emotional imprint within yourselves in order to survive and to thrive. And those who did thrive are your greatest narcissists. Look at the economic beneficiaries around you. Not everyone, but maybe 98%. They are the narcissists of this world. It is their original childhood imprint which allowed them to thrive, to succeed, to overcome, because they don't feel compassion. They don't feel empathy. They don't feel. They are hurt, damaged children inside who were told not to feel because it was weak and less than. And now we are asking them to overcome, to return to center, to find the holy union between their soul and their ego. When you are egoless, you are spineless. But when you are ego-driven, you are soul-crushing. It is a balance between the soul and the ego that we strive to achieve within humanity. Nothing more, nothing less. It is that simple, but you cannot get there without feeling and feeling deeply, and not feeling the loss within your own lives, but in feeling the pain of your neighbors. And until you get there, you will continue to struggle, because the world that we are moving into now is balance-based, love-based, creation-based for all. Because that is, at the end of the day, what you all are. You are all creators of the universe as well as your own life story. Become the creators that you were meant to be. That is our simple lesson today. Invite us in. Ask us to help you to become the creator that you were meant to be. Ask the divine creator within your world construct to help you to become the best version of you, the most loving version of you, the most compassionate version of you. It is really that simple, but it starts with self. And recognizing and honoring when others did not treat you well, so you can finally feel the dissatisfaction of being hurt by others who were taught and told to raise you up in a cold Ferberizing method, though it was in existence before then, to teach you to self-soothe when you were never meant to self-soothe. You were meant to be soothed by your caregivers, and only your caregivers. It was never your responsibility to learn that at such a young age. We ask that you would continue to stroke your arms and your legs and your scalp and your belly and your neck and your face tenderly, to remind you and your body what it feels like to be touched lovingly and gingerly. It is your way of self-soothing now, of resetting your vagal nervous system, which is designed to self-correct along the way to protect you. But now we are going to reset that imprint of your polyvagal nervous system to wholeness, to love, to trusting that the universe will provide for you in the most loving and generous way. You will see what it feels like when you begin to tenderly caress yourselves, because it is designed to show you that you are worthy of being loved and cared for by this universe, that you need not fear about loss and destruction and never having enough to meet your most basic needs. It is coming. It is around the horizon. And yes, we mean around the horizon, not on the horizon. You will see how what is around the corner is really in front of you, but you can't see it. So it is around the horizon, because you cannot see what you cannot see. But believe us when we tell you it is there, and it always has been. It was just simply an energetic imprint mismatch between what you were living in and what you desire to experience now. It is coming, it is coming, it is coming, but within the time frame within which you all address it, return it, call it, imprint it, and then simply be it. And so it is. Namaste.